We are back with Wendy Scott from Timeless Closets and Cabinetry, and it's only a closet. That is the official name of the show, and we are excited today to have Wendy back talking today about the back to school time. And this edition of the show is going to be amazing, very helpful about creating functional spaces for studying, closets, and so much more to really gear up for that successful school year. First and foremost, Wendy, welcome back. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much, Jill. It's always a fun Friday morning.
It is. Well, thanks for being here. Just tell us about what you do specifically, and tell us how we can reach you before we get started for today.
So you can find me at Timeless Closets and Cabinetry. That is my website, my Instagram, and my Facebook, Wendy at timelesscc.com and 908-975-9381.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we're excited to have you back. Again, timelessclosetsandcabinetry.com. We've had 10 shows. Well, this is our 10th show. So
10th
many
show.
shows teaching us, all these functional spaces in the closets. And we met with so many of your experts and coworkers and people that collaborate with. What do you have in store for us today?
Today we're going to hit close to home and it's just you and I. We're not even going to we're just going to video just you and I as we go. Um, and we're just so you're comfortable, I'm going to ask you questions like you're a client. However, you can just think about your answers or share them because it is a recorded video and I don't want you to be uncomfortable whatsoever because you do have children. But we're hitting close to home and we're doing back to school.
Oh my goodness. All right. Where do we begin?
Okay, so where we begin, we say, it's an ongoing joke. It's only a closet, with all my friends, coworkers, etc. And back to school is more than just the closet. It's the closet. It's where the kids are getting ready. It's the mudroom. It's the study station and the garage. So we're going to start for a moment in the closet. And when I'm meeting with my client, I'm asking them, all right, strangely enough, the gender of the child, how old are they,
Yeah.
and do they have siblings? And there's reasons for all those questions. You know, if it's, a young girl versus a young boy, I find that boys are better at shelves, girls are better at hanging. I hope my children don't hear this, but neither of them can use a hanger.
Hey,
Um,
I'm sorry. I went to my son's room this morning to
yeah,
only find every hanger's popped up. So he must have ripped off all the clothes as always. And I try to teach them, no, after you take the clothes off, you put it to the right, the hanger, and there's all hangers stuck up like this. I get so frustrated with this. Yep.
absolutely. Well, okay, so and how old are these kids? Because do you are they and are they independent? Do you want them picking out their outfit the night before? Do you want them picking out their outfit for the week? And there's ways to get around that. When you're asking if they have siblings, is do they have the hand-me-downs?
Mhm.
You're actually we're gonna go all over the place. We're gonna have a little eclectic conversation. When you're walking in, you're getting ready for school, you're going through their closet and you're like, okay, what fits? What needs to be thrown out? What needs to be, is it stained? Is it torn? And then you have to go shopping. So are they in school uniforms? And how do you want, the uniforms up high so they're out of grubby fingers or down low so that they can grab and go? And, you're talking about, little girls want to be independent. They want to pick out their outfits. So then you get that valet rod and they could pick the outfit out the day before. So it just gets you out the door a lot easier. The old school way of doing it is, before closets were really great, they had, those hanging fabric cubbies. And there were seven little cubbies and they could put their little outfits out for the day. You want to think about different ways to get them in and out, whether they're independent or not. Can they reach it and keep them contained and controlled?
Yeah.
And this is going to be a weird one, is I actually saw someone on a message board and they were asking for advice on how to build something. And they had a child that was on the spectrum. And they're like, I want to build a container that has hampers, like, the actual laundry hamper is huge. And they're just going to dump their stuff in there. And I thought, and I messaged her, I said, well, I was under the impression that that's just additional chaos. And a
Yeah.
child on the spectrum needs that organization so that they can
Mhm.
function better. And with her particular case, that's the opposite. They need a controlled chaos. They need to be able to have this big mess, but in a contained way so that their child can function better.
Okay.
And I was like, huh, that's interesting. Learn something
Yeah.
new every day. Complete opposite of what I thought.
Hmm.
So yeah, so we're talking about picking out the clothes and private school, public school, and how these kids are starting their day. And like you, are they ending their day by just dumping it and going?
Yep. Oh
And
my goodness.
so that's the closet. And then we move on to, all right, now they're dressed and they're ready to walk out the door and they're going to hit the mudroom. And in the mudroom, there's a couple ways to do it. You could have a coat closet, and in that coat closet, they do you want them to be able to grab their coat and go? Um, I always start. My kids are older. I'm done. Getting ready for. I would like to say I'm getting ready for grandkids, but instead, my daughter brought me a puppy, so I got a ways to go. But when my children were younger, we would get a basket, go to Walmart, and buy 12 pairs of $1 mittens in the same color and keep them all in a basket. And by the end of that season, I was down to one mitten. They were all gone. Because you've got soccer and you've got walking to school and
Hmm.
the kids are outside playing and then they're walking the dogs and they lose one every time. Or if you were my son, he liked to cut the fingers off them. And so he could be more functional playing outside. And all of a sudden you're down to like no basket, no mittens, but at least they're in one spot and contained through instead of, throughout the entire
I
house.
have a Ziploc bag of missing gloves and a Ziploc bag of missing socks, but I feel like I'm going to find them one day and then it just causes more clutter around the house. But will I ever find them? Probably not.
I use that same thing for dust rags
Yeah.
because I
Hmm.
know they're never coming back. So I'll
Nope.
use that and I'll just pull one out and use it as a dust bag. Now because the kids are gone, even myself, I've got that double hang, but my double hang is for my husband's short coats and my
Hmm.
dog's coats
Oh my
because
goodness.
all the dogs have to have coats and Giants jerseys. Um, but in the mudroom, you also have that drop zone.
Uh-huh.
So the kids are coming home and everybody says they want that cute locker system so everybody's contained and I want their shoes hidden. I don't want to see the mess. And first thing I'm going to ask you, Jill, is okay, how trained are these children? Are they going to open the door or the drawer and drop the shoes in there? Or are they going to plop them off and set them in front of the door and drawer? And then Jill's going to trip over them or have to put
Yes.
them away herself.
Yes.
So you got to think about these things when you're building your
Uh,
mudroom. And then I built one last year, and we big beautiful mud room, and each kid had their own cubby, and then the adults shared a cubby. And then I got called back, and they said it's great, it's
oh my
perfect.
gosh.
The backpacks have a place, but there's nowhere for their paperwork.
Uh-huh.
Now, your kids are going to come home, they're going to have paperwork, and they're not going to give you that paperwork until it's time to walk out the door to go to school the next day. And now you got to rush through and sign forms and figure everything out. So this way we came back and we put in a shelf. And now the kids come home, they take the paperwork, they put it on the shelf. Now mom and dad can check it, sign it, put it back, and now we're ready to go out the door.
Oh my goodness. I love
But
it.
you've got a place for their backpack, you got a place for their jacket. Do you want them to just grab a jacket on a hook and go? Or do you want them to grab it out of the coat closet? At least you have a system so that there's a contained drop zone for when they're coming and going from the house. Just kind of
Uh,
makes things a little bit easier.
oh my goodness. All right, this is good stuff because by the way, I have like this bench near my door, right when you
Mhm.
walk in, thinking it could be organized like the shoes go underneath the bench. And long story short, the shoes are always all over the place. I don't even like shoes in the house. I mean, can we store or shoes on the porch in like a little cubby?
We'll
Don't
we're
have a
gonna hit
mud
that
room.
one. We're gonna hit that next.
Oh,
Because
good. Wow.
well, not next. We're gonna hit that in a second. We're gonna hit the
Okay, okay,
study
okay.
station. So the kids come home, they have their drop zone, and now they have to do their homework. So this goes back to their age and how old are the kids? Do they need help?
Seven
Do you
and
want them to
nine.
sit at the kitchen table and do the
Mm-hmm.
homework with you? Or do you have a set area, whether it's
Yeah,
in their bedroom or in the office, a joined office where they have a contained space. There's no background noise, no television. They can get their homework done. But it's also
true.
about a place where they're coming home and they're bringing those things. Some of the pictures you put on the refrigerator, some of it goes into a box so you can store.
Hmm.
They need their extra supplies. But when they're going to be more functional when they have a set space.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, well, my kids are going to do it in the kitchen table. Well, how old are your kids? Your kids are 16. They are not doing their homework at the kitchen table with you watching them. They're
No.
going to in the bed, their bedroom, and they're never going to look at you again.
Hmm.
So put a desk space in the bedroom then at that point. But the biggest thing is they need that space dedicated for study time, for doing their homework so that they can stay contained and just be more functional and better.
Well, my son's 9, but he has a
Okay.
desk in his room and everything, and he doesn't use it. He has to do the kitchen table because I'll go upstairs. I think he's doing his homework, and he's doing something else. So my kid's still young, where I have to like watch him like a hawk like that. But
Right.
I like the idea. That's what I thought. Getting him a desk would be the perfect thing. And then he's in his room. He's doing something else. I have to. Some kids you gotta watch.
Yeah, I think you probably have a couple more years of that
Yes,
just in case.
exactly. I do. I do.
Yeah.
7 and 9. So yeah.
So maybe he has his Lego zone. So he's actually using the desk
Hmm.
while you're watching the homework and helping. And then eventually he's going to be up there because, junior high, high
Yeah.
school, no more mom. Mom's no longer cool and she doesn't know anything.
It's so true.
I'm sorry. And that age is happening sooner and sooner and sooner.
Yep.
So,
Especially the younger ones have older friends and older cousins. So it's already started. Yeah.
yeah, hate to say that one. And then we're going to hit the garage and we are zooming through this. So we're going to have to
Ooh,
probably go back and forth on some of these. But when you have, so you didn't have the mud zone, the mud room.
no.
So then some people build that locker system in their garage.
Oh,
So in the garage, it's not just about dumping the coat and dumping the shoes. In the garage, you're thinking about now we have sports equipment. And in the sports equipment, you've got the stinky, smelly bags. I can't
hmm.
find my soccer shoes, my soccer socks or the swim bags. And then they have the cleats and it's just disgusting. And you don't want that smell in the house. So it's a nice place to keep it out in the garage. But a lot of people come in and out through the garage. They don't even go through the house. So it is
Wow.
a good
It's,
spot to put
yeah.
to put a locker system and sometimes some of the garages are narrow. I've seen, I think it's either IKEA or the Container Store. It might be IKEA. They have these really narrow shoe containers
Okay.
that can go there. I want to say only 9 inches deep, and your shoes go down and then they kind of tilt out and drop them in. And they build this wall of shoes that are in this container. Now, can a closet company do that? Yes, but it's pretty expensive. But the Container Store one, I'm still thinking it's IKEA. They build these narrow shoe pieces and you could kind of decorate them and make them nice, but it's at least they're out from bugs or mice and that grossness. But it's the shoes are contained and now you don't have to worry about I can't find my soccer cleats. Well, did you put them where they belong? It's not just a drop zone. You do have to train your kids to make sure that they get everything put together and it's a process for sure. But holy cow, Jill, we just hit every spot in 45 minutes or in 15 minutes.
Wow. Come on. This is crazy because hold on. This is our back to school edition. We have many more things to talk about here.
I know. So tell me your pain points. Like what is the difficult part about getting the kids out the door?
Always late. Like the bus is outside and it's like, it's only one of them. The little one gets ready, fine, good. This other one wants to dilly dally. And pet the cats goodbye and brush his teeth late and it's just it happens all the time. And then I end up yelling at him and then he feels horrible that why are you always yelling at me, and I try to explain, well, if you got to the door early and got out like Jackson it would be easier, but it's more about the timing. Like, so then I take away the iPad, so no iPad in the morning, but still he's got this issue with leaving the house on time. And guess what? I've always been the same way, so I can't blame him, but I'm trying to teach him like how to like stop, like and
Right.
I don't know how to do it. How do we lure him outside?
Have you done the so first of all, you plant corn, you're going to get corn, right? You-
Yes,
That's
exactly.
unfortunate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've got a mini me and I've got an opposite as well. So have you tried like aiming for a different time? Instead of 8:35, we have to be at the door at 8:30. So he starts training himself that he's got that window as long as he doesn't know about the window
Yep. Oh, of
of
course.
space.
Yep, and then I've done that where me and his brother will go outside, and then now they're panicking because we're out early, and he still doesn't come to the door. I'm trying to give them the accountability, saying we're leaving in time for the bus, and still, so there's some type of block there, and I don't know how else to fix it, and I usually end up yelling, which is not a good system, not a good way at all.
Is he old enough to wear a watch? Like, does he have a watch?
Yeah, he does. He does. He has a whole bunch of them, but they don't really
They
work.
don't
They're like
have,
kid watch. He doesn't have an Apple Watch.
right.
No.
It's not like he has that timer that will
I
ding
gotta get,
his,
yeah, maybe for Christmas they can get Apple Watches. They're at that age. Some of their friends have them and stuff, and it's good to track their kids and all.
yeah,
So that would be a good thing. But he's the type of kid who would forget to put the watch on.
or charge it.
Yeah. Oh, another one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't even think
that's an
about
issue.
that. Do you have to charge Apple Watches? They don't have a battery in them? I don't know how they work.
So I have mine on. I wear it for I probably get a couple days out of it,
Okay.
and then I have to put it on the charger, but it charges pretty quick.
Okay. Good to
But
know.
you can have it on that silent mode and you could set these timers on it, and then whether it goes off out loud or it just vibrates on your hand, on your wrist, you know your time is up.
Got it.
Or even if you
Interesting.
have like, the Google or the
That's
Alexa.
a great idea. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
Alexa. Yeah, that and the watch. I would need a watch. Okay. And I have Google Alexa. Yeah, absolutely.
So you can tell, I gotta say it quietly so mine doesn't talk to me. Um,
You could
if you
tell.
tell it set reminder for X, and then Alexa will pop on and say, it's time to brush your teeth. And then set my timer for X.
Great idea.
It's
Great
time
idea.
to get your shoes and your backpack, or set alarm, meet mom at the door. And now it's not you being the bad guy, it's your Alexa being the bad guy.
I love that.
I should use that on my husband.
How is he with time management?
He's very distracted.
Yeah, exactly. That's the word.
He's Yeah, he gets distracted. He's got to go do this. And he wants you ready, but
But
then
then,
he's off doing, oh, I got to feed the dogs. I got to feed the bird. I got to go do this. And I'm like, I'm sitting there waiting. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm ready. Want to go sit in the car? Let's go. So, this takes the burden off you, puts it on the
yeah.
electrical. And I would actually say, why don't you have him set Alexa and set the timer
Oh,
and
these are
empower him to be more responsible for himself?
great ideas. Thank you.
I
Thank you.
love,
Thank you.
I like that one. I want to hear how that one worked. Well,
I
when does school start for you
Well,
guys?
school doesn't start till September, like, I don't know, 6, 7. It's like after Labor Day. I don't even know when Labor Day is. I'm so out of it.
That's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Good idea. Thank you.
But you could get practicing, like,
Yeah.
sports are going to start soon prior,
Hmm.
so they could start, setting their own alarms and being responsible for themselves.
Yeah.
I grew up in the West, so school started before Labor Day for us.
Yes. Hmm.
So, and did you grow up in the West?
When is wait? I don't even know when. I'm looking right now. I'm quickly looking at my calendar. What? No, I grew up in New York on Long
Oh,
Island.
okay.
I don't even know when Labor Day is, and the calendar on the computer doesn't even tell you when Labor Day is. How
No, I
dare it?
totally want to look. How crazy are
It
we?
doesn't do it. Maybe on the cell phone has, but the computer phone does not have the. It doesn't say Labor Day when you click on it. How annoying!
What?
You know what it is?
Oh,
You have it on your.
no. I'm looking on my thing. It's not saying it either. That's weird. It's probably on the other calendar. What's the pain point with regards to homework besides getting distracted?
The rule is you come home and I'm strict. I need you to do your homework. Homework has to be done right away. And because if the longer you wait, you know what happens. It never gets done and it's a big fight at night. So I'm very strict. So last year, both of them were giving me a hard time. And so then I threatened them with the fact you can stay for the after school program like a lot of the kids do. Parents they'll pick you up an hour or two after school. And they also make you do your homework right after school. Do you want mommy to pick you up later and stay? And then it was my little guy freaked. My little guy now comes home, does his homework, no problems. Obviously he has questions, he'll ask me, but the older one still cannot sit still. And maybe it's an ADHD thing. He's not diagnosed, but he's got this attention deficit disorder for sure.
Sure.
And then I found like, he's being spiteful just to his mom because everyone says in school he's so good. He's such a good listener, and at home he's not. But the oldest still gives me a hard time. So little one's clear. He's good. But the older one, yeah, I don't know. How do I fix that, right? Do I really stick to it and put him in the program?
So I'm going to answer like multiple questions. One, Monday, September 2nd.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Google.
Love it. Thank
Um,
you.
Two, I'm going to introduce you to a word called mommy deaf. Uh, they hear everybody but you. They're
Yes.
mommy deaf. And then, I don't have a direct answer yet, but you're also going to have a new problem because at those ages, they're going to get ready for sports.
Oh,
Sports are going to start happening
sports have
after
already
school.
started. We have football twice a week now. Yep. Yep. Tonight we have football too. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to have football after school?
No, not after school. It's always at night.
It's always at night. So they have to come home, get their homework done, and then go to football.
And then
So now they
religion starts and yep.
so they can't go to those things unless they have, but that's a tough one because one, either you tell them they can't go unless they get their homework done, but two, you have the other rule of you've made a commitment and you need to show up.
Exactly.
That's a tough, tough battle. And you have two boys?
Yes.
No girls.
No girls, no. I
Ooh,
wish.
that's that's tough.
But no, it's not look, I spent let me just explain this. My son started sports at 5. The other one
Okay.
started at 5 too. I was out every night. They did every sport. Now the little one does no sports. He's more artsy and crafty, and the
Okay.
oldest one is down to basketball and football. But it used to be basketball, football, baseball, lacrosse, soccer. It was every day. I don't know how I did it. I was so burnt out. This is 2021, 22. It was just horrific. And now it's down to just the two, which is much easier. So I do, but there's times he doesn't want to go to sports. And then his father, who doesn't live with us, says, "Oh, he doesn't have to go. He doesn't want to go. And let him come to my house. He doesn't have to go." And I'm like, no, you make a commitment as a parent. You need to be on my side. And there's that whole lack of,
Right.
two parents not being on the same page at all. What's the big deal? He commits. And like, no, he commits. And, it happened last week because it was his dad's birthday. And he's like, well, it's my birthday. I'll take him home. And I'm like, well, you got to take him and meet me at the field. I'm not leaving. It's my birthday. He could just miss it. And I'm like, no. And I just feel like he doesn't get it. And that's a whole nother issue. But now I'm just going to air everything out of my dirty closet here. It's only
It's
my
only a
closet.
closet.
It's
It's only a
only
closet,
my
Jill.
closet now. Does the issue. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough battle with homework, with sports, keeping everybody on the same page. But I mean, you're on the right track because it's you've committed, and that's a character to sh to stay with that commitment. And that's good to instill that in the
Yeah.
kids. It's really important. Keeps kids out of trouble for sure. But yeah, I don't know. The rewards, it's not like you want to do a reward system either because you know, it's a commitment. Why do I have to reward you to your commitment? Your commitment is your success.
Exactly. And then there are some times where there's the bribes. I'll take you to McDonald's afterwards. I'll take you to Applebee's. So like I'm guilty of that, but we have to do that sometimes if they're not feeling their best. Or it was mandatory football last week. And we'll get this. This is it's just a story. I was sick 2 weeks ago after I went away. Then my kids were sick and I knew he was sick, but no fever, whatever. He wakes up, said, I'm so sick, I can't go to football. I said, you're going to football. You're sick. I don't care if you're sick. Mommy works when she's sick. We do. And it was hard to get him out of the bed. So anyway, he went, came home, lay down. He was fine until the next day. I took my other son got a fever, took him to the doctor. They both had COVID. But I'm like, okay. But at this point, like the doctor said, there's nothing, there's no, it's like a cold. You can still
Yeah,
go out and do things. People are going to get infected. But meanwhile, I know he really was sick. But still, if I knew he had COVID, I'd probably still send him to practice too, because it's just like a cold or a virus now. I wouldn't have cared. I would have forced his ass. But did
right.
I say that? Yeah. But some people are still weird about, think it's the
Yes.
plague, the COVID. And I
Yeah,
get it, but I don't because I feel like it's just a virus and everyone's going to get it still. And now there's
right,
no mandate that you can't be out and infect people. But it's like if I have a cold, I'm still going to the grocery store. It's the same
right.
thing. Now I'm on a whole nother story. I'm on a tangent today, Wendy.
That's okay. You got to have balance, Jill.
I need it. I need a break. I need a
It's,
drink. Coffee.
I have, well, sparkling water. Does that count?
Thank you. It's perfect. It's
Well,
perfect.
cheers. We're going to cheers to the weekend. Woohoo.
Cheers to the weekend. And again, on creating these functional spaces for our children are
Yes.
important and for us. And one other thing quickly before we
Yeah.
go, I also have a problem with this. where am I keeping their homework? I always put it in like a bin, like a
Yeah.
box, and then, but every day I can't find it because they don't put it back. I don't put it back. It's like, what do you suggest keeping their
That's that
stuff?
dedicated drop zone. So like so
Got
you
it.
don't have the mud room, but you would have to have
Yes.
that specific basket in the
Okay.
kitchen or
Yep.
wherever it is they're doing their homework.
Got it.
You've got to have that specific basket so they
Okay.
know and they have the routine to keep them
Wow.
in and out. And
Got it.
again, back with your son, have him set the Alexa up.
I'm going to do that. Thank you so much, Wendy. Very informative today. And thank you for
Absolutely.
talking to me about my issues and my goals and my space. Um, Remind us, Wendy, how we can reach out to you, please. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much.
So timelessclosetsandcabinetry.com and on Instagram and Facebook is Timeless Closets and Cabinetry and 908-975-9381.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure. You have a
Thanks.
fantastic day
See you
and
next week.
you got it. Enjoy your weekend.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.